dating thing, and we did not have chaperones, and we made mistakes in our relationship, but we didn't want our children to make those same mistakes.
People choose to make, these commitments for a reason, and I think we've seen the benefit of that in our relationship.
This person is watching, but ultimately God is always watching, and our actions need to be pleasing in God's eyes.
And then also waiting for the physical until after you're married is so important, because it's like opening up a birthday gift.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It is July 21st. It's love in the air. I see birds swinging and thinking and swimming, and the doves are singing, and everyone's kissing and everyone's happy. The lovebirds, like the Love Boat. Okay, welcome. So if you are in your early 20s and you happen to have a roommate that's a guy that's gonna go away for maybe 40 years, and your parents are like taking care of him like he's a baby, and his wife is allegedly maybe living in your house constantly, and you're feeling a little crowded, well, could you potentially make an impulsive decision to marry that girl's brother? I don't know. Let's unpack this, because I got some tea for y'all. You got your drinks? All right. Josh Duggar is living in this tiny house. No, I'm just kidding. It's a mansion, according to The Sun. It is owned by LeCount and Maria Reber, who have a daughter named Hannah, who is living with them, who has actually been in the news lately because she's engaged to David Keller. So David Keller is Anna Duggar's youngest brother. We found out that they were courting in the very end of June. And they made a post about how they were so happy to be getting to know each other. So on June 23rd, a post was made by David Keller, which said, "Hey everyone, I'd like you to meet Hannah Reber. I've really enjoyed getting to know her. God gives good gifts." And it has James 1:17. And then Hannah shared the same verse, but she said on her Instagram, "God gives good gifts. I've enjoyed knowing you. Can't wait to start this adventure with you. P.S. He sings too." And then she shared some photos. And then a couple days later, Michael Keller, who was down in Texas, had made a comment about how recently he had been down in Arkansas, actually up in Arkansas because he's from Florida. He and his son David had gone to Arkansas to help a hurting relative. A lot of people assumed that hurting relative was Josh or maybe Anna. And we then realized that while they were there, David met Hannah. A lot of you guys were wondering, is this arranged? What the hell is going on? Oh my God. So here's what I know, and I spoke to a source that told me the following. David and Hannah got engaged within 20 days of getting together. 20 days. They did not have, according to my source, a previous relationship at all before that visit. They did not really know each other. They just happened to meet each other and hit it off, and that they are going to get married. And I'm told some people that know Hannah are not super thrilled about this. Well, Hannah is over on their joint Instagram, super excited, saying that David is building her confidence and helping her learn how to be valued as a woman. I'm told that the people that know her, some of the people, not necessarily her parents, might be a little concerned because she's only known him for 20 days. So imagine in your little brain that this is how it all plays out. Your parents are taking care of a guy who is facing multiple felonies, and his wife, Anna, has a brother who comes to visit. While visiting, you and said brother get to know each other. Not at all weird that a young man who happens to be the same age as the daughter that they're living at home, you meet, you fall in love, and you get married. Now, I asked my source, do you think they're trying to get Hannah out of the house because Josh is there. My question was, they didn't know. Was it arranged? They didn't know. Was the timing suspect? They said yes. I said, do they know each other? They said barely. Then this kind of gives me a little bit of pause, because as soon as they announced their engagement, they made this statement on their joint Instagram about how nothing about their situation was at all arranged. Okay, I gotta say something. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of remember when Jill and Jessa did the interview with Megyn Kelly, and Jill kept saying that no one was pressuring her to talk, no one told them to go on and what to say, nobody said this, nobody said that they were doing it for themselves.
We have to come out and speak. This is something like we chose to do. Nobody asked us to do this. Jess and I were talking, we're like, oh my goodness, most of the stuff out there is lies. It's not truth. Me to forgive him. And I had to make that choice to forgive him, you know, and it wasn't something that somebody forced, like, oh, you need to do this, you know.
You know how when people like are coached to say things, and they say things in a way where you feel like they're being coached by someone to make sure that they know that the situation, although looking very suspect and bizarre, isn't suspect or bizarre. Like they're trying to sort of make it feel like what you're seeing isn't real, like gaslighting. So you're coached to say things to make it temper down those like, oh no, it's not. We're totally in love, right? Because the post said this: nothing about David or I was prearranged. We chose each other and I'd choose him again. He is giving and loving and kind. He's helped me to see my value and see how beautiful life is. I haven't always felt valued or seen. It's overwhelming. It feels a lot like God's love. In 20 days. He taught you how to be feeling that he's giving, loving, and kind. You haven't even had your first fight. In 20 days, he's taught you how to be seen and have confidence. In 20 days. Then another photo says this: dear Hannah, your friendship has been one of the most precious things I've known, experienced, and enjoyed. I'm thankful for the many ways you reflect Christ in your day-to-day life and look forward to spending our lives together. I love you, babes. Our friendship. We weren't arranged. I really love him. He's so kind. She, in her message, doesn't say that she loves him. Her message says, I'd choose him again. He is giving, loving, and kind. I haven't always felt valued or seen. It's overwhelming. It feels a lot like God's love. She does not say, I love David. She says, we're not prearranged. He's a great guy. David says, your friendship is awesome. I love you, babes. Something is so awkward here. And it reminds me, again, of like people who are being told, this looks suspicious. You need to say something on social media. I'm not saying that that's what happened, but I also know how the Duggars work, about how they're so careful with their public image. So I almost wondered if Jim Bob was like over and he was like, LeCount, you need to get a hold of your daughter and tell her that she needs to update her Instagram right now and say that this was not prearranged. Even if it wasn't prearranged, and say it was just an impulsive decision, which I don't believe it was. I think maybe what could have happened was they met each other and they decided, oh, our kids get along. Michael was there, which obviously isn't, he's there to talk to LeCount. So they have their conversations, and they at some point decide within 20 days, both the dads give the blessing that their kids get married. That's in IBLP, you do not get married without your dad's blessing, meaning that LeCount is saying, yes, David, you can have my daughter. I don't know you. I only know that I've got Anna staying at my house. So if you're Maria and you're LeCount and you got Josh in your house and you have an easy way out to get your daughter out of the house, would you then allow a marriage to happen so that your kid didn't have to live with you anymore and could be safe from Josh? Or was this more like a payoff where it's like, well, now we got you married, so you can stay with us longer? It happened. They met within a few days of them getting the continuance too. I don't know, something just about this just feels really weird. Either it's two kids in love and they're just being super impulsive, which is not fundamentalist at all. Even by fundamentalist standards, this is fast. This is unexpected and this is bizarre. Everyone I've talked to that's in this world is like, they don't get it. They're like, whoa, this is weird. She doesn't even know him. David could be a great guy, but are you going to commit to the first person that you meet after 20 days to wed? Now, some of you will say, like, my husband proposed after 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We got married in a day, and we've been together for 50 years. We know the statistics do not always work in that favor, and it's more like the exception than the rule. We also know that the older you are, the longer people stay married. We know that people that are under the age of 25, their marriages have a higher rate of divorce. In the fundamentalist world, though, you don't get to get divorced unless you leave the fundamentalist world, and I don't know if that's going to happen, being that the Kellers are so invested in the IBLP and in the Baptist fundamentalist world. So I want to know what your thoughts are about this. Is it one of those things where the red flags are going up and you're like, there's something going on here? Or is it like, was this a brokered deal, or was it an impulsive decision? What do you think about some of her friends or people that know her saying that they don't like this idea and that she doesn't know him and she doesn't know what she's getting involved in? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.